breathe in, and let this moment wrap around you like a blanket. You're here, you're safe, and for the next little while, we're going to drift together into a place where science feels like a song, and your breath is the only rhythm you need to follow. Have you ever noticed how your body already knows how to breathe? No instructions needed, no effort required, just in and out, like the tides, like the wind, like the quiet hum of your cells. Tonight, we'll follow that rhythm. We'll listen to the stories your breath carries, stories written in your DNA, in the air, in the ancient wisdom of your body. So let's begin. Close your eyes, and let's drift into the first whisper of air. Your very first breath was a miracle, not just because it filled your lungs for the first time, but because it changed you forever. That breath triggered a cascade of signals in your body, a symphony of hormones and neurons waking up to the world. Your DNA, which had been quietly waiting, suddenly sprang into action, turning on genes that said, "Okay, we're alive now. Let's begin." And here's the magic. Every breath you've taken since has been a continuation of that first song, a rhythm your body remembers, even when your mind forgets. So tonight, as you listen to the sound of your own breathing, know that your cells are singing along, a quiet, ancient melody that says, "You're still here, you're still alive, and that's enough." Did you know the air you breathe is a time traveler? Every molecule has been here before, in the lungs of dinosaurs, in the rustle of ancient forests, in the sighs of people who lived 1,000 years ago. Your breath is a conversation with the past, and your body, it's been listening for millennia. When you inhale, your lungs don't just take in oxygen. They also sense the temperature, the humidity, even the emotions in the air. If you've ever walked into a room and instantly felt calm or tense, that's your breath telling you, this place is safe, or be careful here. Your DNA doesn't just respond to the air, it remembers it. And tonight, as you listen to the quiet in and out of your breath, your cells are remembering too. They're saying, this is the rhythm of life. This is home. Here's something your breath and your DNA have in common. They both love patterns. Your breath is a rhythm. Inhale, exhale, pause, repeat. Your DNA has its own rhythm too. Genes turning on and off like tiny lights in response to your world. And when your breath is steady, your genes listen. They say, "Aha, she's calm. We can relax too." There's a study, one of my favorites, where scientists looked at people who practiced slow, deep breathing for just a few minutes a day. Not only did their stress levels drop, but their genes actually changed. Inflammation went down. Immunity went up, as if their bodies were saying, "Finally, we've been waiting for this." So tonight, as you let your breath slow and deepen, imagine your cells sighing in relief. Imagine them whispering, "Thank you. We remember this piece." Your breath isn't just yours. It's part of a great exchange, a give and take between you and the earth. The trees inhale what you exhale. The oceans absorb what the trees release. And the air? It carries it all like a quiet, invisible river. You're not just breathing. You're participating in something ancient and vast. And here's the beautiful part. Your DNA knows this too. It's been part of this dance for millions of years. So when you feel alone or small or overwhelmed, your breath is a reminder. You belong here. You've always belonged here. And your cells? They're nodding in agreement. They're saying, "Yes, this is the truth. This is the rhythm. This is home." And now, as your eyelids grow heavy, let's talk about the breath of sleep. When you drift off, your breath slows. Your body enters a quiet, sacred rhythm, a time when your cells do their deepest work, repairing, restoring, remembering how to be at peace. Your DNA knows this rhythm well. It's been guiding you towards sleep since before you were born. So, as you listen to the sound of your breath, let it carry you. Let it remind you. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to fix anything. You only need to breathe and rest and trust. Your cells know what to do. They've been doing this for a very long time. Let's talk about something beautiful. Your breath holds memories, not just yours, but the memories of every ancestor who breathed before you. When you inhale, you're pulling in the same air that once filled the lungs of those who came before you. And your DNA, it remembers them all. It carries their strength, their resilience, their quiet wisdom. So when you feel alone or small or unsure, your breath is a reminder. You're not just you. You are part of a river of life, flowing through time. There's something scientists have discovered about breath and memory. When you focus on your breath, your brain lights up in areas connected to who you are, your stories, your journey, the moments that shaped you. So tonight, as you listen to the sound of your breath, let it carry you back to a moment when you felt truly alive. Maybe it was the first time you saw the ocean, or the sound of laughter from someone you love, or the quiet joy of waking up to a new day. Your cells remember those moments too. They're whispering, "This is who you are. This is where you come from. This is your story." Your breath has its own rhythm, not just a rhythm of in and out, but the rhythm of life itself. When you were born, your breath was quick and light. As you grew, it slowed, deepened, found its pace. And when you sleep, it becomes a gentle, steady wave, the sound of your body at peace. Your DNA knows this rhythm. It's been keeping time since before you were born. Here's something fascinating. When your breath finds its rhythm, your heart begins to sync with it. Your brain waves slow. Your cells hum in harmony. Scientists call this coherence. When your body systems align, like instruments in an orchestra. And in that moment, your stress melts away. Your thoughts quiet. Your genes respond as if to say, "Ah, this is how we're meant to be." So tonight, as you listen to the rhythm of your breath, imagine your cells dancing to that rhythm. Imagine them whispering, "Yes, this is the song we've been waiting for." Your breath doesn't just connect you to yourself. It connects you to every living thing. When you inhale, you're breathing in the same molecules that fill the lungs of strangers, of animals, of the trees outside your window. Your DNA knows this connection. It's been part of this great breathing web of life for millions of years. There's a word for this in science: interconnectedness. It means we're all part of the same system, breathing in, breathing out, sharing the same air, the same moments, the same planet. And when you feel small or lost or overwhelmed, your breath is a reminder. You are not alone. You are part of something vast and beautiful. Your cells know this too. They're saying, "We belong here. We've always belonged here." So tonight, as you listen to the sound of your breath, imagine it's not just your breath. It's the breath of the earth, the breath of the sky, the breath of life itself. And you're just here to receive it. There's a quiet rhythm inside you right now, one you've carried since before you were born. It's not your heartbeat, though that's part of it. It's not your thoughts, though they dance to its tempo. It's your breath, a silent conversation between you and the world, a bridge between the air outside and the life within. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the way the air moves in and out, like a tide answering the pull of the moon. No effort, no instruction, just the oldest, wisest part of you, doing what it has always known how to do. This is where we begin, not with words, but with the space between them. Not with explanations, but with a feeling of being held by your body, by the earth, by something far older than both. Let's listen. Long before you took your first step, before you spoke your first word, there was a moment when the world rushed into your lungs for the very first time. It wasn't just air. It was a spark, a signal to every cell in your body. Wake up. We're here now. That first breath flipped a switch deep inside you. Lungs that have been practicing in fluid suddenly filled with oxygen. Blood vessels dilated. Your heart beat stronger. And your DNA, that ancient coiled library of instructions, began a new chapter. It was as if your body whispered, "I've been waiting for this." Even now, every inhale carries the echo of that moment, a reminder that you were designed for this, not just to survive, but to breathe and sync with the world around you. The air you're breathing right now has been everywhere. It's swirled through redwood forests, danced in the midst of waterfalls, been exhaled by people who lived centuries ago. Your lungs are a doorway, and with every breath, you step through it, not just into the present, but into the past. Your cells remember this journey. They carry the memory of the first algae that learned to turn sunlight into oxygen, the first fish that gasped above the water's surface, the first human who stood under the open sky and filled their lungs with possibility. So when you breathe, you're not just taking in air, you're taking in time itself, a thread connecting you to every living thing that ever was. Oxygen doesn't just keep you alive. It speaks to your cells in a language older than words. When it enters your bloodstream, it's like a key turning in a lock. Doors open in your muscles. Your brain brightens. Even your DNA listens, unfolding certain genes like pages in a well-loved book while tucking others away for later. This is how your body talks to itself, not in shouts, but in whispers, not in commands, but in rhythms. And your breath? It's the translator, turning the world outside into the life inside you. Divers know something most of us forget. Breath is a negotiation. When you hold it, your body responds like a city preparing for a storm, slowing, conserving, waiting. When you release it, the tension dissolves, like a held note finally resolving into silence. Your DNA understands this dance. It knows how to stretch a single breath when the air is thin, how to sip oxygen slowly when the world feels heavy. It's why, even when you're still, your breath is never idle. It's always adjusting, always adapting, always finding the rhythm that keeps you here. Have you ever walked through a forest just as the sun sets? The air feels different, cooler, softer, as if the trees are exhaling something sacred. That's because they are. While you sleep, the trees work. They take what you release and give back what you need. It's a trade older than humanity. Your lungs know this exchange intimately. They've been part of it since the first green leaf unfurled. So when you breathe in deeply, imagine you're not just filling your lungs. You're joining a conversation that started millions of years ago, one that will continue long after we're gone. The ocean breathes, too. Waves rise and fall, in a rhythm so steady it could lull the earth to sleep. Your body keeps the same time. When you're restless, your breath quickens like a nervous sea. When you're at peace, it slows, deepens, matching the tide's patient pull. Your DNA has been keeping this tempo for generations. It remembers the salt in your blood, the way your ancestors' lungs expanded with the same air that filled the sails of ships, the same air that once rushed through the gills of fish. So when you feel untethered, your breath is the anchor. It knows the way back to stillness. Fire needs oxygen to burn, but so do you, not to consume, but to create. Every breath fuels the quiet flames inside you, the energy in your muscles, the thoughts in your mind, the repair of cells you'll never see. Your body is a hearth, and your breath is the bellows, stoking the warmth that keeps you going. Even now, as you listen, your cells are tending to that fire, trusting it to burn just enough to keep you alive, but never too much to overwhelm you. Deep in the darkest caves, where no light reaches, there are bacteria that survive for millennia on nothing but the air we exhale. They thrive on what we discard. Your body does the same. With every exhale, you release what no longer serves you. Carbon dioxide, tension, the weight of the day. And with every inhale, you invite in what you need. Clarity, calm, the promise of another moment. Your DNA has been perfecting this balance since the beginning. It knows how to let go. It knows how to receive. And it knows how to trust the process, even when you can't see where it's leading. In the center of a storm, there is stillness. The wind howls all around, but the eye is quiet. Your breath is like that. No matter what swirls outside you, worries, noise, the chaos of the day, there's always a place of calm within you, a space where the air moves in and out, steady as the turning of the earth. Your cells remember this stillness. They've weathered storms before. They know how to hold the center, how to keep the rhythm, how to remind you, you are here, you are safe, you are the quiet at the heart of it all. The first light of dawn does more than wake the world. It changes the air. The temperature shifts. The wind stirs, and your body responds as if it's been waiting for the signal to begin again. Your DNA has been greeting the morning since the first sunrise. It knows how to rise with the light, how to shake off the dark, how to step into the day with the same ease as your next breath. So when you wake tomorrow, remember, your breath has been practicing this moment since the beginning of time. It knows the way. Picture a meadow at noon. The air is thick with the scent of clover and earth, warm with the hum of bees. Your breath in this moment is like that meadow, alive but not rushing, full but not overwhelmed. Your cells know this balance. They've been practicing it since the first blade of grass pushed through the soil. When you breathe in deeply, imagine you're not just filling your lungs. You're stepping into that meadow where the air is sweet, where the world moves at the pace of sunlight, where your body remembers how to be still and know that everything is already enough. Picture a meadow at noon. The air is thick with the scent of clover and earth, warm with the hum of bees. Your breath in this moment is like that meadow, alive but not rushing, full but not overwhelmed. Your cells know this balance. They've been practicing it since the first blade of grass pushed through the soil. When you breathe in deeply, imagine you're not just filling your lungs. You're stepping into that meadow where the air is sweet, where the world moves at the pace of sunlight, where your body remembers how to be still and know that everything is already enough. A glacier moves so slowly you can't see it, but it's always shifting, always changing the world around it. Your breath is like that, too. It doesn't need to be loud or forceful to be powerful. With every inhale, you're reshaping your body from the inside, calming your nerves, steadying your heart, telling your cells, we're here, we're moving, we're alive. Your DNA has been part of this slow, steady rhythm for millennia. It knows how to wait, how to endure, how to trust that even the smallest breath can move mountains over time. Stand at the edge of a canyon, and you'll hear the wind whispering through the rocks. It's the sound of space, of air moving through something vast and empty, filling it with life. Your breath does the same. When you inhale, you're not just taking in oxygen. You're making space inside yourself, like the canyon making room for the wind. Your cells know this openness. They've been expanding and contracting since the beginning, learning how to hold both fullness and emptiness, how to trust that there's always enough air, enough time, enough you. A beehive breathes as one. Thousands of wings, thousands of bodies, all moving together to keep the air flowing, to keep the life inside alive. Your breath is part of a hive, too. Not just your lungs, but the lungs of everyone around you, the trees, the oceans, the earth itself. All of us inhaling and exhaling in a rhythm older than time. Your DNA remembers this connection. It knows how to sync with the world, how to take what's needed and give back what's not, how to trust that the hive will always provide. So when you breathe tonight, imagine you're not alone. You're part of something vast and humming, something that has always known how to keep you safe. A seed doesn't force its way out of the soil. It waits, it trusts, and when the time is right, it pushes upward, one breath of life at a time. Your body does the same. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air, you're taking in the promise of growth. The quiet knowing that you, too, are unfolding exactly as you should. Your cells remember this rhythm. They've been growing since the first cell divided, learning how to expand, how to reach, how to trust that the air will always come when it's needed. A lighthouse doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It simply shines, steady and sure, guiding ships home through the dark. Your breath is your lighthouse. With every inhale, it signals to your body, you're here, you're safe, you're exactly where you need to be. Your DNA has been keeping this light for generations. It knows how to shine through the fog, how to trust the rhythm of the waves, how to remind you that even in the dark, you are never lost. A bridge doesn't just connect two places. It connects two moments, where you were and where you're going, what you felt and what you're about to discover. Your breath is that bridge. With every inhale, you're crossing into the next moment. With every exhale, you're leaving behind what no longer serves you. Your cells know this journey. They've been crossing bridges since the first breath you took, learning how to carry you forward, how to trust the path, how to remind you that every breath is a step toward somewhere new. A loom weaves threads into something stronger than they could ever be alone. Your breath does the same. With every inhale, it pulls in strands of oxygen, of calm, of life. With every exhale, it weaves them into the fabric of you, stronger, softer, more resilient than before. Your DNA has been weaving this tapestry for millennia. It knows how to take what's broken and make it whole, how to trust the process, how to remind you that you are not just a single thread, but part of something vast and beautifully made. A lantern doesn't need to be bright to light the way. It just needs to be steady. Your breath is like that lantern. With every inhale, it illuminates the path ahead, not with a blinding glow, but with just enough light to take the next step. Your cells know this gentle brightness. They've been guiding you through the dark since the beginning, learning how to shine without burning out, how to trust the light within, how to remind you that even the smallest breath can show you the way home. A nest is built one twig at a time, each piece carefully chosen, carefully placed. Your breath builds your nest, too. With every inhale, you gather what you need: calm, strength, the quiet knowing that you are safe. With every exhale, you settle deeper into that safety, trusting that you are exactly where you belong. Your cells remember this nest. They've been building it since the first time you drew air into your lungs, learning how to create a home inside you, how to trust the process, how to remind you that you are held, always. A compass doesn't tell you where to go. It simply points true north, trusting you to find your own way. Your breath is your compass. With every inhale, it reminds you of what's true, that you are here, that you are alive, that you are exactly where you need to be. With every exhale, it releases what's not. Your DNA has been guiding you like this for generations. It knows how to point the way, how to trust the journey, how to remind you that even when the path isn't clear, your breath will always lead you home. A kite doesn't fight the wind. It lets the air lift it, carry it, hold it aloft. Your breath is like that kite. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're letting the world lift you, letting it remind you that you don't need to struggle to stay afloat. You only need to trust the breeze. Your cells know this flight. They've been riding the wind since the beginning, learning how to rise, how to glide, how to trust that the air will always be there to carry you when you're ready. An hourglass doesn't rush the sand. It lets each grain fall where it needs to, one breath at a time. Your breath is like that hourglass. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air, you're taking the present moment, the quiet knowing that this is where you are, that this is enough. Your cells remember this rhythm. They've been counting time since the beginning, learning how to let go of what's past, how to trust what's coming, how to remind you that every breath is a grain of sand, and every moment is exactly as it should be. A hearth doesn't roar. It simply burns, steady and warm, a quiet promise that the cold won't last. Your breath is your hearth. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're stoking the fire inside you, the one that keeps you warm, the one that reminds you. You are safe. You are held. You are home. Your cells know this warmth. They've been tending this fire since the beginning, learning how to keep it burning just enough, how to trust the heat, how to remind you that even in the darkest night, there's always a spark inside you, waiting to glow again. A garden doesn't force its flowers to bloom. It simply tends the soil, trusts the sun, and waits. Your breath is like that garden. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're tending to the quiet spaces inside you, the places where growth happens without effort, where life unfolds exactly as it should. Your cells know this patience. They've been gardening since the beginning, learning how to nurture what's needed, how to trust the process, how to remind you that even the smallest breath can cultivate something beautiful. A clock doesn't rush its hands. It simply keeps time steady and sure, trusting that every second will come when it's meant to. Your breath is like that clock. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're marking time in a way that's uniquely yours, not with urgency, but with rhythm, not with force, but with trust. Your cells know this tempo. They've been keeping time since the first breath you took, learning how to move with the world, how to trust a rhythm, how to remind you that every moment is exactly as it should be. A library doesn't shout its stories. It simply holds them, waiting for the right moment to share. Your breath is like that library. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're turning the page on a story written in your cells, a tale of resilience, of adaptation, of quiet wisdom passed down through generations. Your DNA knows these stories. It's been reading them since the beginning, learning how to listen, how to remember, how to remind you that every breath is a chapter and every moment is part of the tale. A lullaby doesn't explain. It simply sings, soft and sure, trusting the melody to carry you where you need to go. Your breath is like that lullaby. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're singing yourself a quiet song, one that reminds your body how to rest, how to trust, how to drift into the night. Your cells know this melody. They've been humming it since the beginning, learning how to soothe, how to comfort, how to remind you that even in the dark, you are held by something older than words. A compass rose doesn't tell you where to go. It simply points in all directions at once, trusting you to choose a path that feels right. Your breath is like that compass rose. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're remembering that you have choices to rest, to rise, to trust a direction that calls to you. Your cells know this freedom. They've been navigating since the beginning, learning how to point the way, how to trust your instincts, how to remind you that every breath is a step and every step is yours to take. The horizon doesn't rush to meet you. It simply waits, steady and sure, a quiet promise that there's always more to discover. Your breath is like that horizon. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're stepping into the next moment, the next possibility, the next breath of life. Your cells know this promise. They've been reaching for the horizon since the beginning, learning how to trust the journey, how to embrace the unknown, how to remind you that every breath is a beginning, and every beginning is yours to shape. A lantern doesn't demand the dark to leave. It simply shines, trusting the light to find its way. Your breath is like that lantern light. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're illuminating the quiet spaces inside you, the places where fear dissolves, where trust takes root. Your cells know this light. They've been shining since the beginning, learning how to guide you, how to remind you that even in the darkest moments, your breath is a flame that never goes out. A tapestry is made of countless threads, each one essential, each one part of the whole. Your breath is like that tapestry. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're weaving yourself into the fabric of the world, thread by thread, breath by breath. Your cells know this connection. They've been weaving since the beginning, learning how to hold the threads of life, how to trust a pattern, how to remind you that you are never alone. You are part of something vast and beautifully made. An echo doesn't force its voice. It simply waits for the right moment to return what it's been given. Your breath is like that echo. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're hearing the whispers of every breath that came before you, the voices of your ancestors, the songs of the earth. Your cells know this memory. They've been echoing since the beginning, learning how to carry the past, how to trust the present, how to remind you that every breath is a conversation, and every conversation is part of the story. A sigh isn't just an exhale. It's a release, a letting go, a quiet admission that some things are too heavy to carry. Your breath is like that bridge of sighs. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're making space for what needs to be felt, for what needs to be released. Your cells know this release. They've been sighing since the beginning, learning how to let go, how to trust the process, how to remind you that every breath is a chance to lighten the load, to soften the edges, to trust that you don't need to carry it all. A star map doesn't tell you where to go. It simply shows you where you are, trusting you to find your own way among the constellations. Your breath is like that star map. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're orienting yourself in the universe, remembering that you are part of something vast and luminous. Your cells know this map. They've been navigating by the stars since the beginning, learning how to trust the light, how to follow the rhythm, how to remind you that every breath is a guide, and every guide is part of the journey. A harbor doesn't fight the waves. It simply holds them, trusting the water to find its way home. Your breath is like that quiet harbor. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're creating a safe space inside yourself, a place where the chaos of the world can settle, where the waves of your thoughts can rest. Your cells know this harbor. They've been holding you since the beginning, learning how to shelter, how to trust, how to remind you that every breath is a return, and every return is a coming home. An old-growth forest doesn't hurry. Its trees have stood for centuries, their roots tangled together underground, sharing nutrients, sharing strength. Your breath is like that forest. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air, you're drawing on the resilience of every cell in your body, the quiet strength that's been growing since before you were born. Your DNA remembers this forest. It knows how to stand tall, how to bend without breaking, how to trust that even in the darkest seasons, there's always life pushing through the soil, always breath moving through the leaves. A tide pool doesn't resist the ocean. It simply holds what the waves bring in, then lets it go when the tide recedes. Your breath is like that tide pool. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're practicing the art of receiving and releasing, of trusting that what you need will come and what you don't will wash away. Your cells know this rhythm. They've been ebbing and flowing since the beginning, learning how to adapt, how to trust the current, how to remind you that every breath is a chance to let go of what no longer serves you, to make space for what does. A beehive breathes as one. Thousands of bees working together, their wings beating in unison to keep the hive alive. Your breath is like that hive. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air, you're connecting to something greater than yourself, the shared rhythm of life that binds us all. Your DNA knows this community. It's been part of this hum since the beginning, learning how to work together, how to trust a collective, how to remind you that you are never alone. You are part of a hive that spans the earth, a quiet, humming network of life. A sand dune doesn't fight the wind. It simply shifts, grain by grain, trusting the breeze to shape it over time. Your breath is like that dune. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're practicing patience, learning to trust the slow, steady changes that shape you from the inside out. Your cells know this patience. They've been shifting since the beginning, learning how to adapt, how to trust the process, how to remind you that every breath is a step, and every step is part of the journey. A waterfall doesn't hold back. It simply lets the water flow, trusting the river to carry it where it needs to go. Your breath is like that waterfall. With every exhale, you're not just releasing air, you're letting go of what's no longer needed. The tension, the worry, the weight of the day. Your cells know this release. They've been flowing since the beginning, learning how to let go, how to trust the current, how to remind you that every breath is a chance to release what's heavy, to make space for what's light. A murmuration of starlings moves as one. Thousands of birds shifting and turning in perfect harmony, trusting the collective to guide them. Your breath is like that murmuration. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're connecting to the rhythm of life itself, the quiet knowing that you are part of something greater. Your DNA knows this unity. It's been part of this dance since the beginning, learning how to move with the world, how to trust the rhythm, how to remind you that every breath is a step in the dance, and every step is part of the whole. The first humans painted their stories on cave walls, breathing life into the dark with ochre and charcoal. Your breath is like those cave paintings. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air, you're connecting to the ancient rhythms of your ancestors, the quiet knowing that you are part of a story that began long before you and will continue long after. Your cells know this story. They've been painting it since the beginning, learning how to trust the past, how to honor the present, how to remind you that every breath is a brushstroke, and every brushstroke is part of the masterpiece. A sundial doesn't rush the sun. It simply marks the time, steady and sure, trusting the light to move at its own pace. Your breath is like that sundial. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're marking the moments of your life, not with urgency, but with presence. Your cells know this time. They've been keeping it since the beginning, learning how to trust the rhythm of the day, how to honor the light, how to remind you that every breath is a moment, and every moment is yours to hold. A wind chime doesn't force its song. It simply waits for the breeze to move through it, trusting the air to create the music. Your breath is like that wind chime. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're letting the world play its song through you, a quiet melody of oxygen and life. Your cells know this harmony. They've been singing since the beginning, learning how to trust the breeze, how to create music from the air, how to remind you that every breath is a note, and every note is part of the song. No two snowflakes are the same, each one a unique crystal of ice and air. Your breath is like that snowflake. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're taking in the quiet, knowing that you, too, are one of a kind, that your rhythm is yours alone. Your cells know this uniqueness. They've been forming it since the beginning, learning how to trust your path, how to honor your rhythm, how to remind you that every breath is a crystal, and every crystal is part of the storm. A lighthouse beam doesn't demand the ships to follow. It simply shines, steady and sure, trusting the light to guide them home. Your breath is like that lighthouse beam. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're shining a light on the path ahead, reminding your body that it knows the way. Your cells know this guidance. They've been shining since the beginning, learning how to trust the light, how to guide you through the dark, how to remind you that every breath is a beacon, and every beacon is part of the journey home. A river delta doesn't fight the water. It simply lets the currents weave their way to the sea, trusting the journey to unfold as it should. Your breath is like that delta. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're letting life flow through you, carrying you toward what's next. Your cells know this flow. They've been weaving since the beginning, learning how to trust the current, how to navigate the branches, how to remind you that every breath is a step, and every step is part of the journey. A firefly doesn't hide its light. It simply glows, trusting the dark to make its brightness visible. Your breath is like that firefly. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're letting your light shine, even if it's just for a moment. Even if it's just for you, your cells know this light. They've been glowing since the beginning, learning how to trust the dark, how to shine when it's needed, how to remind you that every breath is a spark, and every spark is part of the night. A harvest moon doesn't rush the night. It simply shines, full and bright, trusting the darkness to reveal its light. Your breath is like that harvest moon. With every inhale, you're not just taking in air. You're gathering the abundance of the moment, the quiet knowing that you have everything you need. Your cells know this abundance. They've been harvesting since the beginning, learning how to trust the light, how to gather what's needed, how to remind you that every breath is a gift, and every gift is part of the cycle. So sleep well, dear listener, dream deeply, and wake up knowing your cells are already focused on what matters. Your job is just to listen. Good night.